Welcome to Copy with KP. In this series, I will be having my favorite cup of Copy and a very interesting guest who will be sharing insights from the industry. Today, I have a very special guest. He has over 20 years of experience driving digital transformation in banks like Bank Danamon, DBS Bank Indonesia, and now Bank Mandiri, which is the largest public sector bank in Indonesia. He is Pak Victor Korompis, who is a senior VP and head of digital banking. Welcome, Pak. Cheers with the coffee. Good morning.
Selamat pagi, KP. Apa kabar? I hope you are in a good situation.
Yes, Pak. Very good. Actually, Singapore is recovering quite well. How about you, Pak?
Yeah, same.
I think in this COVID situation, what has happened is digital banking has become very important for everybody. When people cannot visit the branches and do personal banking by visiting the branches there, right? And you have been initiating this digital banking for Bank Mandiri now. So how was your experience in driving this initiative? I would just like to hear it from you.
Okay, so basically I think the pandemic actually fast forward the digitalization in banking industry. You might say that telco and banking is the two most advanced industry that using digitalization.
Correct.
But now, after pandemic, it might say like what need to be happen 5 years from now need to be happen now.
Correct.
Something like that. So same thing here in Bank Mandiri. Digitalization is actually for a better customer service, for a better way of customer doing transactions, because there is so many physical limitations that the customer has now. Right? I mean, previously, for example, if a bank want to offer a product, actually the customer can say, please send your relationship manager to my office. But now, since customer is working from home, and with this pandemic, for example, they also worry if somebody coming to their home, right? So the world is changing because of the pandemic. But I mean, I think Bank Mandiri is on the right track, because actually we start this digitalization before the pandemic time, and actually now we are on the journey of rewriting the customer journey again.
Okay.
We will soon launch a lot of new products, digital products to the customer. Hopefully next year we will see a lot of new products from Bank Mandiri. When we are very passionate about it, because again, this is not about us, but this is about how we serve our customer. That's what we do actually.
Okay. So, I mean, the whole digitalization or digital transformation, as you mentioned, is about how you change your customer experiences, correct? So, what exactly does it mean for a banking industry? Because people usually prefer coming to the branches, have that one-on-one touch with the people there in the branches. So how do you see that it's changing now with digital banking and digital transformation?
So basically, we already see these trends about the last 4 and 5 years. In Indonesia, I think Mandiri is definitely declared as a transaction banking of Indonesia. So in our case, for example, we have seen the trend that 94% of our transaction is coming from the electronic channel. Yeah. And what we see based on that trend, because of the pandemic, I think customer that previously, maybe we have a terms now called senior millennial. Yeah. That previously didn't want to use channel or mobile banking. Now they need to adopt, they need to learn a lot. So we will see the trend that from 94% customer coming from each channel, it will increase significantly to 98%. So branch functions maybe will reduce into like 2% of transactions. But do not forget that 2% of transaction is the high volume or transactions. I mean,
Okay.
not high volume, sorry, high amount transactions.
Okay.
So brands still need it, but it's for more value-added transactions. For example, if you want to buy mutual funds or you want to buy advanced product, then you need an advice. Then brands will play on that role.
Okay.
But the daily transactions, things that you do every day, it will be shifted a lot to the digital. And what we see now, the one that we are saying that senior millennial, because usually it's like millennial that using the digital banking a lot. But we see now people even on the age of 60 or 50 that that previously still want to do the ATM relationship or calling relationship, now shifting to the mobile banking because they also want to learn new things now, and they want to use digital channel of the bank as well.
Okay. But are banks really geared up for that? Is the industry geared up for that, to adopt that digital transformation? And how are you adopting cloud technologies to address the challenges that you're facing?
So basically, bank is a highly regulated industry.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So in Indonesia, for example, there is rule that the customer data and transaction data should not reside in overseas.
Correct.
In our case, I think the good news now, there is a lot of cloud provider open up in Indonesia. For example, Google now already have data centers in Indonesia as well.
Correct.
Amazon is on the progress. They're coming also. What I hear from them is next year they're open up.
Correct.
So it's a good trend that actually because they are here now, it's not an issue anymore. If, for example, we can use the cloud technology because they're already here in Indonesia.
Correct.
But again, in banking industry, that what we do actually, we also need to redefine our application, because not all our applications is what we call born in the cloud. Yeah, the technology was coming from the previous era. So basically now what we do is we are redefining our customer journey, and when we're redefining our customer journey, we also create new applications that running on microservices, which is technology that actually born in the cloud. So it will provide elasticity, it will provide higher availability and resilience to the bank, and also, for example, it provides capability if we want to do strategy like hybrid cloud or multi-cloud as well. So that's what actually being happen internally now.
Okay. And I personally know that you have been, like, for all your previous organizations, you have been very much enthusiastic about open source technology usage in wherever you go, in whichever organization you go. So how are you seeing open source playing a key role in this whole journey of digital transformation these days?
So there are two things that I see for open source. I think the first one, open source actually bringing a better way of, especially technologies like us, understanding the solutions that being delivered. Because again, in a lot of proprietary solutions, it's more like a closed loop, where the innovations is being held into one laboratory, for example, in a one branded proprietary solution. But in open source, because it is a community based and people is involved in the development, so the innovation is not being held by one party only, but actually there is a community that's supporting it, and the innovation is getting faster and faster. So that's what I like about open source, because actually what I see now, when we are being we want to create a solutions that you might say the right solution for our customer, the key of open innovations is also important. Now, the
Correct.
open innovations, I think that's one of the value that open source have, where it's not being held by one party, but it's a community-based driven, and actually a lot of practitioners now also supporting open source. So there is a lot of solutions that fit to the industry requirement that can be
Okay.
used now in the open source. So it's not the situation about 15 years or 20 years ago. It's totally
Correct.
different situations now.
Correct. I think I would like to shift the gears now and come to something very personal. So, I mean, these days many people are exploring their hobbies also beyond work. They are getting some time at home, spending some quality time with family as well, which usually people didn't get earlier. So, I just wanted to know what are your hobbies, interests, and what I would really be keen to know about this.
So before pandemic, actually, every weekend I do sport with my family. I mean, we go to gym,
Okay.
or we do some sport in the sport center. I mean, like sometimes playing badminton. But now, because of the pandemic, all of those things is very difficult. But what we do now is we start new hobby. I do biking now. So we do cycling about 5 to 10 kilometers per day, just to make our immunity higher lah, to avoid the pandemic itself.
That's very good.
No, actually, in Indonesia now, biking becomes like new hobby. A lot of people now bike to work, things like that. So the bicycle price is increased now actually.
Okay.
Because public transport, right? Public transport, people avoiding public transport, right? So there is a new trend, which is the bike to work. but I haven't go back to work actually. I'm still bike to the place that I like to go. For example, biking to the cafe or things like that.
I can imagine. I mean, how one thing that gets impacted and such a small virus had changed so many things in our lives that we are seeing for last 6-7 months. It has really transformed our lives as such, and I think you are also driving that transformation within the organization also, and trying to bring it forward for your organization through these challenging times. And thanks a lot, Pak. Thanks a lot for sharing these very interesting insights, and also sharing something about your hobby that we never knew about. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, KP.
Yeah. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next time we should have the real coffee meeting. Okay?
Absolutely. I think we forgot.
The pandemic over.
If you have a coffee mug,
coffee is good.
Yeah, if you have a coffee mug, let's do cheers. Cheers for it. And next time, definitely we will do and meet over coffee.